I know we work. It's not a question if we work. You can look us up. The only thing people look up, it's like, oh, they cost money. Pretty sure everything costs money. It's like, yo, can I save money and get something better?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Home Service Hustle. I'm your host, Jonathan Bannister. Today's guest is Alex Trujillo. Alex is going to share some special stories about how he was raised by a single mother, homeless at 15, and the impact that has had on who he is today, the mindset that he carries with him every day, and his why, who is his 6-year-old daughter, Ella. Guys, this is a really special episode. You don't want to miss it. Let's go. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Home Service Hustle. I am your host, Jonathan Bannister, and today's guest is Alex Trujillo. Alex is with Insperity, who happens to be a partner of Cornerstones and actually one of our vendors that we use in our business. Alex, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Very excited and happy to work with you.
Absolutely. So I got to spend some time with you a few months ago out in Sacramento at Jason Walker's event. You had some stage time. You gave some great tips. So definitely wanted to make sure to get you on the show and kind of, just deliver a little bit of what you did there. So I know you kind of told me you're trying to, almost niche yourself down within Insperity as the home service guy, right? Like you understand the space, you work with several contractors. So why don't you start with just talking a little bit about who Insperity is and kind of what you do on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, I'd love to. So you'll notice throughout this whole entire time, I have a huge passion for Insperity. Once you learn who Insperity is, we're born and raised in Houston, Texas. We started about 36 years ago, and we ended up moving into a nationwide brand, right? So we're a multi-billion-dollar publicly traded company that has a sole focus on small, mid-sized businesses. And when I first started, a little bit over 2 years ago, I grand opened the Sacramento office. I'm out here near Jason Walker and all the other, Jamie Medlin, and the idea with Insperity is you first understand it's a white glove service, that high level service focuses on your people, attract, maintain, and then grow your business. But then you realize at the same point, like, what's a good client for Insperity? Everyone's a good client, for any sales guy out there, right? Everyone's a client. But we have to have someone that has a getting better agenda as a business owner that wants to focus on their business and focus on their people. They don't want to focus. They didn't get into business to pay taxes, even though you have to. They didn't get into business for the compliance piece of everything that comes with being a business owner. They got into it for the passion of what they have. And I got into the industry with HVAC because I realized that majority of all HVAC owners, all the owners and all the people that are running the business, they were a comfort advisor. They were a GM, right? They were installers at one point, and they realized they can do it better themselves. And so if you're going to be at a point that you can say, I want to run the business, I need to find the right people to do it, I need to get the right people in the seats, and I want to enjoy it, and I want to make money, right? That's the point of it. You didn't do it for all the other reasons. And so Insperity, I realized there was a fine line where there's a risk line with Insperity because of the model that we have. We share risk with our clients. We mitigate your risk for you, and then we provide you Fortune 100 benefits at a level people can't do while providing high level service. And there was a fine line that it was teetering. Is it too high risk in the HVAC industry, or is it just perfect? And I found out, and that was my niche, is that it's the best amount of risk that you can have. A business owner doesn't want to have to deal about the claim resolution, and they don't want to worry about their people getting hurt. They don't want to worry about all these things, but they have to. And with Insperity, they don't. So that's kind of where I drove into this. I met Jason and Jamie. Now I've met you, and it's a great partnership. And Insperity cares about their people, and they care about their clients.
Yeah. So kind of talk through the services that you guys offer. I mean, I know we just joined 3 or 4 months ago. I know you guys, you handle our payroll, our health benefits. We've pretty much handed over a big chunk of our business, and to have that taken over by professionals, like you were saying, that understand, those finite details that we don't necessarily like, the taxes and the compliances and stuff that go with it. I mean, I don't know about HVAC because it is a localized business, but for us, I only, our office is in Dallas, but I only have a handful of employees here. I've got employees in Mississippi, Florida, Alabama. They're spread all over the country. So when you're talking about compliance and making sure that payroll taxes and employment taxes and stuff are in line with those different states, that can get very overwhelming for a local, CPA or accounting firm that's handling your stuff. So just kind of talk about what all the services that you guys do handle within the Insperity, bubble.
Yeah, I'd love to. So if anyone, by the way, you're watching this, you're looking up Insperity, you're going to see HR company. And I'd forwardly say most people see HR and they say, okay, I got it handled. We know how to hire and fire people. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But HR to Insperity is our services. And HR is a human capital strategy. And how I always say it's from hire to retire. You have your recruiting and outplacement support. What does it look like during your job interviews? Your onboarding. Is it sophisticated? Do they feel like they're working for an organization that they believe in it as much as you do? Because as a business owner, you want to go out there and grind. You want to hustle. You want to do it right and professional. You want to do it right every single time, so you don't have to do it again. But do your employees think the same? And so you're trying to find the right people. So we help out with the onboarding and the recruiting and the outplacement support. And then you have everything that comes to it with your benefits and your claim resolution. And do you have all the right things with your workers' comp set up properly? Do you have the right benefits for your people in the right places? And you made a great point. What happens when you start hiring someone in Florida and New York and California and Texas? You have PPO plans and HMO plans, and I'm probably talking nonsense to half these people, but that's why you have a broker. How do you know it's the right plan for your people? Do you talk to your people? And so we get to a point, you have your recruiting, your outplacement, your payroll, your benefits, your workers' comp, and then most importantly, your performance and development of your people. Are you doing the right thing? That I would probably say should be a good title of this podcast or an idea of what it is. We help you create a culture by design, not by default, because you have 5 employees. You have one employee. It's Jonathan. He's sitting there by himself. He's running his business, and then he hires 1 or 2 employees, and then he hires 4 or 5 employees, and then at one point the them outweighs the us, and you think to yourself, how can I focus on my business without being so bogged down every single night? And it's a joke between us internally. We provide sleep insurance. We want you to know that you can go to sleep and not worry about your business, but you can focus on your people. You can make more money. You can focus on growth. Pretty bottom line.
Yeah, I like that you provide sleep insurance. I think for business owners out there, I feel like I can speak for a lot of them. Anything that allows us to sleep better and to be able to lay our heads down and feel that there's a part of our business that's being taken care of, that we're allowed to sleep for a few hours because we know when we wake up there's going to be hundreds of emails or fires to have to put out. So to have any part of your business that can be taken over and taken care of that way is definitely some comforting, a comforting feeling for sure. All right, so let's talk about Alex a little bit. So you're just outside of Sacramento, born and raised?
Born and raised. Yep.
Okay. And then what did you do before Insperity? What's your background?
Yeah, very unique background. Most everyone that you meet in my industry has been a broker. They've been in benefits. They've been doing payroll. And so my background is a little unique. I went in. I've worked since I was 15. I had a single mom growing up. I didn't know the struggles until I was older. I thought tater tot casserole for 2 years straight was, maybe that's what my mom likes to have. And so I just say that because I started working when I was 15 at a local gym called California Family Fitness out here. And I started at the front desk, and I worked there sophomore year, junior year, senior year. I went and played college football, and then I was there for a year, and we lost the house. That was when a lot of things happened with the economy, and so I had to make a fine decision. And for me, it was like, my family is more important than this. And I know a lot of people watching this, they probably didn't go to college. I know a lot of the business owners in the HVAC industry they're having a phenomenal life with their family, and they didn't think that they had to have a college degree. Now, I'm not saying not to do that. But with that being said, I ended up going into sales in the gym industry, right? So I worked pool deck supervisor and front desk, and I went into sales. And so 15 to about 20, 26 years old, I worked in the gym industry. I became a general manager at 22. I ran P&Ls with a, $700,000 monthly tap with 50, 60 employees with massive turnover. And you dealt with everything from, someone passing out in the sauna to working with someone and changing their life that is either again, a single mom that decided she has to change her life and learn how to work out and feel better, look better, and be a better person. Or it's a CEO that walks in the door, because every single person in the gym industry focused on changing something mentally or physically about themselves. And
Right.
so, you know, I had a great experience. I think that we had a boiler room mentality when I was first hired into sales back in the day, and probably not the best way to run a business, but it taught me the way to drive and be dedicated. But I use a quote often that absorb what is useful, discard what is not, and add what is uniquely your own. And so I found the things for me, and I'm a genuine, trustworthy person because that's the way my mom raised me to be. And I know that you also have to hustle and you have to grind and you have to work hard. And so what do you get when you have that? So that was my background. So I came into this, I knew business owners and I was here to help people. And Insperity allowed me to be who I can be every single day with the community, nonprofits, and business owners. So
I love
that
it.
that's my background.
So I want to stay there a little bit. Let's talk about the background. So you're single mom, 15. You said you lose the house. What does that do for a 15-year-old? What does that do for your? I mean, because you're a very confident person, you seem to be like a very strong mental person. I've heard you on stage. You've got a ton of confidence there. So where did you get that from? Because I'm sure going through some of those struggles at such a young age and seeing your mom struggle, it had to affect you. So what did Alex do to kind of bounce back? And I'm sure it's molded you into the person you are now. So kind of talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. Look, I'm a mentor for an organization called Single Mom Strong, and I've spoken about this before, and it's a great nonprofit out here. If anyone wants to know more about it, I'd love to share it with you. And if you're a, not if you are, but how I see it, my mom was the most amazing mom in the world because she allowed me not to see that there were struggles. I didn't know, right? I know what's going on. I'm not oblivious to things, but I didn't know we were struggling. And I played three sports. My mom was at every single game. She was the snack bar lady. I found out later she was a snack bar lady at every game, so we could pay for the pads. We didn't have money, right? But if you're a great parent, you do what's right for your family, and you don't have to share the burden. And at the same time, I wish I would have known. I would have want to share the burden with her, right? That's just what we're here for. And so, my resilience, I would say, came from my mom. Like she taught me how to be. She was a mom and a dad to me, hands down. I never had a question in my life. Man, I wish I had a dad. Man, I wish I had that, because that's who my mom was to me, and that's helped me become that for my daughter. And it's the most amazing thing to see what she taught me, because your parents are never right when you're a kid. They're never right. But then in the back of your mind, they're always right. And then when you get older, you realize that everything that you're teaching your children, you learned, all came from them. And then I'm at a point now that I joke around with my daughter and I say, Ella, what's daddy? And she goes, always right. But then when I talk to my mom, it's my mom that's always right. And so it
Right.
came from her. So it's a lot of fun being her. And I wish that I could even be more of a mirror of her. No one's worked as hard as she has, and it's all came full circle for her. So things have turned around.
That's awesome. And your mom lives close to you now?
She does, yeah. She lives in Roseville, so
Nice.
25 minutes away, less than that.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
So you mentioned Ella. That is your why. So let's talk a little bit about what does what does the why mean to you in general, and then obviously bring that into Ella being your why.
Yeah. So I've always been big about self-talk, self-improvement since I've been young. And a why for me is something that's going to drive you every single day to wake up. You hear, like, what are the things you do when no one's around, right? You read those kind of things, you see the quotes. But the realistic thing is, my why is to drive to be better every single day. And I was called a yeah but in high school. And it was because I like to be, I was loud, I was talkative. And my sophomore coach, Coach D'Amico in football, said, Alex, don't be a yeah, but. I was like, what's the yeah, but? He says, every single time I tell you to do something, you say, yeah, but I was going to do that. Yeah, but they were coming. Right. So don't be a yeah, but. And so I was able to change in that, like that time, pretty young age. It's like, look, take responsibility for what you have and what's your why. Do you want to be better in sports? Why? It's because I have a mentality. I just want to be better. My words I always say to myself. It's funny, you make a mistake. A lot of times you try and blame other people. For me, I say to myself out loud sometimes, like, come on, Alex, come on,
Yeah.
be better. And that transition, my daughter is now, 7 years old going in April. And it was the most amazing thing that happened in my life. And in the same way, I'm a single dad. Things don't always work out the way they're supposed to, but they work out the way that it's meant to be. And my daughter came into my life, and I love kids. I have nephews that I'm very involved with. They're 12 and 15. They're in travel ball, very active in different sports. My daughter, I mean, changed everything. And I love that. I wanted to be in a career that I can financially support my family to a point that, finances aren't the issue, because I knew I didn't want anyone to have that burden that my mom had, but I wanted to be available. I wanted to be the guy that was going on the field trips, and that was having all her friends over to your house, through the weekend, and that knew all the parents that would show up to these random things at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm able to do that
Yeah.
because of how hard I work at Insperity and the people I partner with. And so she's my everything, and she's my why.
Yeah, I love that you said it because that's for me. You know, that's what being a business owner means to me. I mean, it obviously is not rainbows and butterflies like people think. They think that they may only see the success. They don't see the iceberg and what's kind of underneath the water and what it's taken to get there. But I'll tell you, for me, it's all about that freedom, right? Like having that flexibility and that freedom to. I've got kids your age, right? They're 7, 8, and 9 boys, and they're all into wrestling right now. So I got to take them to Monday Night Raw a couple weeks ago, and be able to miss some school, and I'm gone for a few days, and having that experience. And then we're going again this Friday night, so going up to Oklahoma City to Friday night SmackDown, and then like this morning we were watching the recording from last night's Monday Night Raw this morning because it was on too late, and then Ronda Rousey announces that she's going to be there Friday night to say who she's going to fight WrestleMania. Then if you could have heard my wife squealing because she's obsessed with Ronda Rousey. I mean, so we but to have that freedom, because Thursday it's supposed to snow here in Dallas. So now like we're going to make arrangements and figure out like, do we need to leave Wednesday night and head up there early for a few days so we don't get trapped. But just being able to have that freedom, that's what it's about for me. But I'm the same way. My kids are my why. It's real easy for me to get refocused if I get down in a slump or kind of feel like the world's sitting on top of my shoulders. I just kind of go spend a little time with them, go on a bike ride with them, go play Fortnite with them, and it brings everything back into perspective that that should be your why, right? Like the people that you get to take real close into your inner circle, they'll hopefully always going to be your best friends and kind of your support system. So I love to hear about your relationship with Ella, and to know what your mom meant to you, and for you to be able to pass that on to her. Man, that's really cool. I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah, I mean, I have a strong passion for connecting with people that think the same way I do, that the same getting better agenda and philosophy. But I just want to add, for anyone that's watching this that is in a position that you want more, you're a business owner and you're bogged down, is Insperity the fit for you? Maybe, maybe it is. I believe we are. I'm biased to it, but that's not even it. You have to realize that exactly what you just said. You take that time, you take the 20 minutes or the hour, and you go ask your kids. The kids are the coolest, the best thing in the world. Just kids in
Right.
general. You can go ask them, like, what do you want to do? and they're going to say, hey, let's go play this game. They'll make up some random game or go do something. You're like, man, they only want happy things. And then you go hang out with them, and is that 2 hours that you would have been stressed out, and maybe you got something accomplished in that 2 hours? Is that worth you not spending time and being so stressed that you get home? You've all had it. You get home, you're in a bad mood, and it happened the other day. We're helping my mom move, and I got in this bad mood. And for me, it's the 10-minute thing. I don't like being in bad mood around my daughter. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I was cranky. She goes, yeah, you're cranky. And I'm like, it's not worth it. It's not worth
Right.
it. So if you're listening now, and hopefully this is kind of where this podcast goes. I I want people to find, if you're not where you want to be today, which I was before I came to Insperity, you can make that choice to make a difference in your own life. And whether it's where you are today or if you have to make a decision to go somewhere else, money doesn't make you happy, but money can also help you change your life to what you want it to be, and then you mold everything around your family.
Yeah.
And just remember that you're not stuck. Nobody's stuck where they're at.
So, tell me, let's talk about what do you do? What are some of your daily routines that you help with both physically and mentally? You know, what are you doing for your mindset? And then, obviously, what does your physical, workout routine look like?
Yeah, so mentally for me, it's I plan my day every single day the day before. There's not a question if I don't know. I know exactly what my meetings look like the next day. I know what I'm going to be doing in the morning, in the afternoon, and evening. I'm very big about planning. Plans don't go according to plan, right? If they don't, they don't. It's okay, and you have to be able to adapt. But uh, we read a lot of books. With Insperity, a lot of what I do with my clients, I drop off books pretty often. We just read Atomic Habits, which was awesome. It's about being better 1% every single day and increasing that, because you can't be dropped on the top of a mountain. It's you have to make your way up there, and so getting better 1% every single day. But for me, a huge mental thing. Most people see me, and by no means am I any bodybuilder, but you hear it a lot. Oh, you work out often, or how do you make the time for that? And it's like, look, that's part of my work day, right? I don't work an 8 to 5. I don't work a 10 to 7. I work all day, 24/7. Now, when I pick up my daughter at 3 o'clock, I pick up my daughter at 3 o'clock, and if I have emails, I have emails. What's 2 minutes going to do? But I don't schedule things in between. And if I have to, I can. But I'll work at 10 o'clock if need be at night, and I'll work at 6 o'clock in the morning if need be. Our corporate headquarters is at 8. 2 hours ahead of us. But I make sure mentally that I'm at the gym or working out in some way 5 to 6 days a week, and I make that time. I either go this morning. I went at 6 a.m. Yesterday I went at 2 p.m. And I'm going and I'm making sure I'm sweating and I'm feeling good, because mental clarity is the most important thing that you can have. And it does help that if you personally feel like you look good to yourself, you also have more confidence in yourself. And it doesn't matter what other people think or see. So when you feel good, when you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you do good. We learned that in football. But I'm big about taking care of yourself. And if you're not doing it, you have headaches and you have migraines and you have back pain, you have this, you have that. Well, that's all going on while you're working in with your family. So you have, again, a choice to change it. It's a
No,
choice.
you're right. It is a choice, and I have this discussion with people all the time, and I don't have time. I don't, and it's like you just got to make the time, right?
Yeah.
Because I assure you that everybody on this planet, they have 24 hours a day. So I know people, whenever they tell me what their schedule is like, I can go find 10 people that their calendars look way worse, right? Like they're in, and they may work for corporate America as well, but if they've got to get to the gym at 4 o'clock in the morning, that's what they do, right? Like
Right.
they find a way. If you want it bad enough, you're going to find a way. And I think when it comes to, I don't know if people really, unless they've experienced that true connection between physically, physically being healthy and seeing how much that's tied into your mental fitness.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, like when I'm out of the gym, like I just do not fire off all cylinders, right? And I like this morning, I rushed my workout. Like I drop my kids off each morning at school. I usually go straight to the gym, and my time from the gym 7:30 to 9, and I don't schedule anything on my calendar usually till 9:30. But I did some calls this morning with our team, so I rushed back. So I did a quick workout, but I know that if I wouldn't have gone and put in that hour into the gym, like I just wouldn't have felt good all day. I just wouldn't have wanted, I would have probably, because I fast, so I would have probably eaten, 11:30, 12 o'clock, and I would have wanted to lay down and take a nap, right? Like I would have just faded off or something. So, and something else I'll tell you is like just dealing with those issues and some problems that you have. So if you're stressed with work, like figuring out what the underlying issues are and just addressing them. And I think a lot of people just don't like face these problems that are causing the stress and anxiety in their life. They just think that it's just going to miraculously go away. And like last night, I came home trying to think. I got finished working, and I'm telling you, my traps from each side were just completely inflamed, aching. But I was stressed from work, right? I had a real stressful day. And I told my wife, I said, I'm getting a migraine because of the pain from my shoulders going in my neck. And then we did dinner, and then I was hanging out with the kids watching Monday Night Raw. And then I got them in bed. Once I tucked them in bed, I started working. And I said, and I typically don't work. If I have to come do some calls at nighttime, I do it from my office. But I decided my wife had already fallen asleep, so I grabbed my laptop and got into the bed, and I knocked out probably 2.5 hours worth of work. And by the time I got finished working, because all that stuff that I felt that was like piling up on my shoulders, no pain. Like it just completely went away. And I didn't have to take medicine, or I didn't have to put ice pack on my back. It was just getting rid of the stuff that I knew that I was overwhelmed by, completely took it away. So I just think, a lot of people just, and I like what you said about, you plan your night the day before. I tell people all the time, they're like, how do you take control of your day? Well, it starts with planning the night before. Because if your feet hit the ground the next morning and you do not have a plan in place, then the day is going to control you. So I like how you said that there. So you work out every day. What do you do besides the gym? Do you do any kind of meditation or just for mental fitness?
I don't, and I've always been curious about it. I'm never not against it. I'd probably say my meditation. It's whenever I have downtime. I'm always thinking about work or always thinking about something. Like my daughter, I'm first grade basketball coach, so I know the schedule when that starts. So I got that. I got her. She's trying out for Aladdin, right? I got that. I got work. I got my mom moving, and so I always, in my mind, I'm always organizing things I have to go on. And I'm not stressed because I know what I need to get done. Now, whenever I'm taking a shower, usually whenever I'm on a drive somewhere, which is pretty helpful. I mean, that's my time that I end up planning what I need to do and how to do it. So I'd probably say organizing my day is my meditation time is being able to organize when I'm not on the phone, when I'm not talking to someone. That's my meditation. It's a little odd, but I'd probably say my workout is my meditation, right? I get a good mile and a half run in before the start of my workout. I lift weights, but keep high heart rate, do a lot of jump roping and rowing in between. And then I finish off and I'll hit the steam room or sauna, most every day. And, maybe I hit an hour and a half workout max. But like you said, people don't realize if they've never been there, what that actually does for you. You don't have to go in and lose 45 pounds. And you're talking to the guy that literally talked to people about working out for 11 years. You don't have to go be some jacked meathead. And if people think it's going to happen, it's not. It's just not going to happen. Otherwise, most people would be. But like you said, address the problems, because if you are waking up in the morning and you're like, man, I got these 3 things, I don't even want to worry about it. I'm going to get a drink. I'm going to grab a beer. I'm going to get some whiskey. I'm going to sit down and watch a show. It's like that's good. That's good that you want to take downtime for yourself. But you're going to wake up in the morning and you're going to be backpedaling a mile to try and turn around and run another mile to start your day.
Yeah.
What's the point in that? So.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. And I think you're spot on there. And I think, and I've been guilty of it in the past. It's weird because I so rarely drink alcohol now. And it's just like it doesn't even cross my mind, and I think it's because when you are in the gym every single day,
Hmm.
Like it's the last thing you want because it will completely make you feel sluggish. But um, yeah, my big thing is I like to eat gummies. So, but I'm responsible and I go to the gym first and I get my work done and then, the wife and I'll hang out, watch TV and eat gummies, right? So I don't think about alcohol in those times. And then when I was talking about meditation, because I can see my producer laughing and shaking her head. So when I was talking about meditation, I've tried to meditate a lot over the years
Yep.
because I know like the top 1%, the most successful people in the world, like they're big into meditation, right?
Hmm.
Richard Branson and Elon Musk and these top people like this is they believe in it wholeheartedly, and I've had a hard time like really I guess maybe calming my thoughts and stuff down and being able to
Hmm.
get into that place. But over the last couple years, I've gotten extremely fascinated with aliens,
Hmm.
and I know
Very
that
nice.
there is these doctors out there that they are meditating like with groups of people, and they're like bringing like UFOs and stuff here by their meditation.
Right.
That they talk about how people can meditate. They've actually done a study. It was so cool. They took a group of people. They were all going to meditate in this one particular city. So I think there was like 50 people or something. They spread out between the city. No one knew they were going to be there
Hmm.
besides those people meditating and the people that were putting on the show. And what they did is they have these supercomputers that are spread all across the world. These supercomputers have been around for the longest time, right? So they said that they're measuring like the emotional like bandwidth or this energy that's coming from the world, and they said that they put these 50 something people in a city. They all meditated. They said crime and everything went down like over the week or the weekend or something that they were doing it, and they actually said that the computers like spread around the world or maybe in that city or something had like hit off of a scale that had not been that way since when Princess Diana was killed in the car wreck.
Mm.
So they were just given the explanation that they know that if they could, they say it takes 1%. Okay, that's what it was. So they say it takes 1% of the people in an area to, if they were to meditate, could change literally everybody there. Like could affect everyone there. So they believe that if 1% of the world's population could get together and meditate, that 1% could change the whole scope of our whole entire globe. Like could pretty much get all the evil out of the world
Right.
if everybody could get there, in sync and in line with one another.
I mean,
So
I'll tell you just with that being said, because I haven't obviously I'm not in that level. Like I've never even heard. I'm a curious person. I love to learn. Just so you know, so I love to hear things all the time. But that goes back to if you're the person when you're in an elevator or if you're in a room or whatever it
mhm.
is, and you have just this clear mindset and you have this forward getting better agenda and you have a believe it into fruition kind of an idea, right? Just in general,
Yep.
people gravitate towards you. It's like it's not if you believe it and you write it down and you think of it, you're going to get it, right?
Yep.
Now obviously you have to put the work in to do it. There's not just going to happen right away, but there's a reason that's the truth. There's a reason that people want to speak to you. A lot of times they're like, you look like to me, you look like a hard person to approach. I was like, well, I'll open my mouth for 2 seconds and you want to be my best friend because
Right.
I want to better myself and other people. And people feel that. People know that. And that's a real thing, right? So, I mean,
Yep.
it speaks exactly to that. Like the way that the meditate or you push yourself or you drive yourself, people know it, feel it, see it. Like it's a physical thing that can't be seen, you know?
What's your thoughts on like manifesting things?
I believe it 100%, man.
Yeah.
I'd love to tell a story here, and I've told this story many times. I when I want something, majority of the time I'm going to get it. It just is what it is. Because I'm going to make, if it doesn't happen down that path, by the way, there's another path. And if it doesn't happen that way, by the way, there's another path. There's always another path.
Yep.
And I was in Little League out in Citrus Heights, out here in Sacramento, and we didn't have money, right? Kind of going back to it. And my mom, the new Xbox came out, and my mom was like, "Yeah, we can't afford it." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So every single Little League, sells candy, kind of like Girl Scout cookies, and so they said that this year they're going to give away an Xbox, and they said that, and I told my mom, and I remember this day. I was maybe 10 or 11, whatever it is. And my mom remembers the story, tells it all the time. I said, "Hey, I'm going to win the Xbox." And my mom's like, "Well, Alex," and she always believes in me. Well, she's like,
Right.
a lot of kids. There's like 10 teams, and there's like 20 kids on each team, 15 kids. And I was like, I'm going to win it. I'm going to win it. So you get one ticket already. Every single kid gets one ticket, and then you get one ticket past that per box sold. And there's 40 candies or whatever in each box, and it was a choice of mine. My mom didn't help me with this. I went every single day after school and every single weekend for about a month, and I sold candy door to door to door. I went into random businesses, and I remember my pitch. My pitch was, you can buy 2 candies for $4, or you can buy 4 candies for $8, which is literally the same thing. And I'm some cute kid, and I just thought I'm like, man, this is a great idea. And so I sold boxes left and right. And I think I sold 8 or 9 boxes. No one sold more than one. And so I'm standing on third baseline. Everyone's around the field out in McDonald Field. And they did the drawing, and they had the big bubblegum bucket. I remember everything. And they're putting their hand, and I had no question that I was going to win the Xbox. And my mom's sitting there, and she said, "I'm just sitting there," and they pulled it out, and they say, "Alex Trujillo." And my mom she couldn't believe it. And I walked up there like, damn right, I won that.
I mean, it was already mine, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
And that's how I live, man. And I just won a all paid vacation through Insperity for a raffle prize based on your productivity. And we went to Disneyland for a week, all paid vacation at the Grand California Hotel. And I was wearing ears. I bought ears, the Mickey Mouse ears. And during the raffle, we had our whole entire company. We had over 3,000 people on. I knew I was going to win it, and I won it. So I mean, the work has to be involved. But
absolutely.
when you believe it, you'll put in the work. If you don't believe it, you won't put in the work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same way. My wife has really brought it to my attention over the 11 years we've been married. She's like, I've never seen someone being able to do what you do with your mind. Like, if you want something, like, she's like, I'll never question you. Like, if you tell me something's going to happen. And then it's like, when someone doubts me, it's like magnified by 1,000,000.
Yeah.
And it's just like, don't tell me I can't, that it'll never happen. Because if I've already said it's going to happen and then someone doubts me, it's like, thanks for the fuel. Like, all you did was just speed it up for me. So I do appreciate it. But yeah, I think, having a positive mindset is just so important. So, anybody who's watching this, it's like, take care of yourself physically. It will take care of you mentally, right? But then, like, you have to have, self-encouragement. Like, you've got to have words of, affirmation. You've got to wake up and go, I am the best at what I do. I'm going to own this day. And, it's going to be a great day. Like, when I walk out the house every morning and take the kids to school, my wife will stand at the front door. I roll the window down. The kids are already waiting because they know what's about to happen. But my wife's screaming out the door, "It's a great day to have a great day." And then they're usually saying it back to her, right? It's just like, so we know that they're going to school with smiles on their face, and they already truly believe that it is a great day to have a great day.
Man,
and
I love it.
Yeah.
My daughter and I said this at our award ceremony in Texas 2 weeks ago. And they were like, "What's your why?" They expected some Insperity talk, and I know my daughter was watching because we televise it, apparently. And I always look at my daughter, and now even though she's almost 7, she acts like, "Okay, Dad," and I go, "All right, Ella, I say, what do we never do?" And she says, "Give up." And I have a video of it. It's perfect. She was 3. She said it. "What do we never do?" She says, "Give up." I say, "What do we always try?" She says, "Try your best." And then I say, "Dream," and she says, "Dream big, princess." And it's all a mindset thing, like you say. And going back to my day to day, I mean, I meet with business owners. Today alone, I met with 2 this morning. I'm meeting with you on this. I'm meeting with 2 this afternoon. Some days I meet with none. Some days I meet with 5. I probably meet with about 15 to 20 every month.
Yeah.
And they need someone as an advisor in my role to have that mindset. They're
Yeah.
overwhelmed, or they're having a bad month, or they're having a phenomenal year, and they don't know what to do. They're trying to run around, and they don't have that. And I can tell you right now, that's brought me a lot of success by going in there. It's like, look, I know we work. It's not a question if we work. You can look us up. The only thing people look up, it's like, oh, they cost money. Pretty sure everything costs money. It's like, yo, can I save money and get something better? And so, whether you're in the HVAC industry or whatever you do, you have that mindset. And I have a lot of friends that are comfort advisors. You knock on that door and you go in there and you have a mindset of just a getting better agenda mindset for them. Run your process and do your thing. But they are attracted to buying from you, your processes, and then your organization.
Yeah.
You start with everything. It doesn't matter by the other 2 or 3. If you don't have number 1, you're not going to get what you want to get. So, yeah.
People buy from people.
Absolutely. People buy from people they like.
Right. So if you build that relationship, and it just starts with being real, right?
Yep.
Being honest up front. And if you're a likable person, you shouldn't have to try to get them to like you. It's just like, how can you help someone? And I think if you truly approach life and your business, whatever it is that you do, even if you're not a business owner, like if you do sales or whatever, if you approach things of how can I make somebody else's, life better today, the impact that has. I told this story recently in a video that I shot, just talking about over the last, 3 or 4 years, I have really changed my mindset on some of the ways that I look at life. One big thing, I'm a very political person. I've taken kind of, because I've changed over the last several years, right? So I'm still caught up.
Changed.
I'm caught up on what's going around in the world, but I decided, you know what? I feel the way I feel. I have the beliefs that I have. But there's nothing that I'm going to do hanging out on social media and arguing with these trolls that's like going to make life better for anyone else around me. So I made that shift, and I said, what I told myself was for 1 year, I was going to not post anything political and did not watch the news at all. Like, I read news articles so that I would be informed enough to be able to know what's going on, but did not watch the news at all. And I'll tell you, like, that had a huge impact on my day-to-day mindset. Just staying away from the negativity, because it doesn't matter what side of the aisle your beliefs are. It doesn't matter what station you watch. It is just negative shit after negative shit. And so I said for 1 year was a goal that I was going to make, because my intentions were that I was going to give it a year and then allow my social media platforms to be able to network with other home service company owners. Because before, I didn't even let any of my clients connect with me, because I felt like I was so politically radical that it just wasn't a good idea to even let them into my, personal Facebook or something. So I did this for like a year, and then I started January of 19, and I make it all the way through March of 20, and then COVID hits, right? The China virus got released, and then it was all over, right? But here's the cool thing about it is, because I took that time away, it was kind of like the gym for me, right? Like, if I don't go to the gym, I feel like shit. But so because I stayed away from all the negativity so long, even though I may have like posted something that, an article that I wanted to be informative to people. It's not like I'm just posting some negative trash, right? Like, I'm posting something that I want friends of mine to be able to be informed about. And what started happening was contractors, because I started befriending all these people, and contractors started liking it or commenting on it, because I wasn't being real mean or ugly about it. It was just like, posting something.
Right.
Well, then I was like, well, I would send them a message like, hey, apparently, like, we're like-minded people, and I like doing business with like-minded people. So we ought to talk. This is what I do, right? And it's been a really good strategy for me, just because I'm just being me. I'm being honest,
Right.
and they appreciate that. They want to talk. So I've started putting a lot of good out into the world over the last several years, and just because I really took a step back and you see what's most important, and you look at those kids, because my kids are 7, 8, 9, so start when they start getting out of diapers and they start going into school, like you start seeing that they look at you differently. Like, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you are their superhero, so like everything you do influences. At least my
Yep.
mind goes, I'm influencing the rest of their life. We know that our whole entire adulthood, all we're doing is working through our childhood. So I'm like, I don't want my kids sitting on a couch in the shrink's office, right? Like I want to be their hero forever. So it just allowed me to slow down a little bit,
Yeah.
really enjoy life and enjoy them, and doing so because I don't feel stressed and overwhelmed all the time. I'm able to like try to help and impact other people's lives, and like I just tell people like I'm so blessed by the stuff that comes back my way. Like the people that have come in my life over the last couple of years, because I'm really big on who I let into my circle.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just I believe, you know, you the people that you surround yourself with are a huge impact of your daily life.
Yep.
So if that's who you hang out with, like that's just kind of what your life's going to be like. Like they're successful, you'll be successful. If they're up to no good, you're on your path to it, right? Or
Yeah.
So I've found some great people that I know are they're family to me, right?
Yeah.
And so I just tell people like open your mind up to like if you're in a bad place. I heard something the other day that said if you feel like you're going through hell, why would you give up? Like, why would you stop in hell and like stay stagnant? Right?
Yeah. I
Like,
like
fight
that.
like hell and get out of it. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to stay stuck there forever. But if you just feel like, man, I don't know how to move on, and you
Mm-hmm.
feel like you're in a bad spot, you're in hell. It's like, well, why stop there?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you, all of us, every single person listening has been there, right? They've been in that
yeah,
in that place where they thought to themselves, "I can't get out," or "I'm not going to make it past this." And either you have, or you've chosen not to get past that. I always talk about choice, right? I'm big about saying the word choice because everything we do is a choice. Now, if something happens that is out of our control, it's still your choice to fix it, right? And I like that you talked about just the people that you surround yourself with, because just dating back, and you guys know my background now. When I was 19 and I went into gym sales, I mean, you could make a lot of money in gym sales back in the day. It was a big deal. I made over six figures at 19 years old, and our family didn't come from money, so I gave a lot of my money to my mom, and I just didn't know what to do with the rest of it.
yeah,
And so I would always take out my friends, right? A lot of my friends were rich; they had rich families, but I would pay for lunches and dinners, and I didn't think much of it. There was no like, oh, look at my money. It's what I did.
yeah,
And there was a time when like we had our group of friends from basketball, football, baseball, and I lost almost every single one of my friends. Uh, they wouldn't want to hang out, or they wouldn't respond, or they'd start talking bad about me. And my best friend still today, he's my brother since I was 5. He was the only one left, and I talked to my mom. I remember always asking her, I'm like, I don't why don't they like me? And my mom's response, and I didn't believe her at the time, as I said, you never believe your parents until you're older. She was like, whether they were jealous or whatever that may be, they didn't like seeing my success where I was, because they were all going to college or JC, or they were working their, jobs making sandwiches as a manager, and that's not a bad thing. But they didn't like seeing me being successful. But when you see people being successful and it fires you up, those are the people that you want in your circle. And the people, same thing. The past 2 years, the people I've met have been the most amazing. That it fires me up to work with people. And I had a dinner last night with a new partner and a new client. And we were walking out. He wants to refer a lot of people because we're really big in the nonprofit world. We match donations, we match referral payouts, and all these type of things. And And I was like, I want to, I can't wait to work with you too, because I want to have fun working with people. I don't want to force people to work for Insperity and work with Insperity. I know what we can do, and what we can do outside of just the client relationship and the relationship and the value that I can bring to you. I want people to be open to it and thrive on that. And what can I help you with, as opposed to can I force you to do this? And that's all about the people you surround yourself with. So I'm happy you brought it up.
Yep. I was trying to find a quote that I thought I just saw yesterday and had posted to my stories, but it was like, the people in your circle are supposed to be cheering you on, not, not like rooting against you or something. But I mean,
Hmm.
you'd be surprised. Like, if you just have your group of friends, right? Like, and I think I use that word very loosely because now with social media and the
Right.
the world that we're in, I think friendships are so watered down. But it's like if you truly have somebody that's in your circle, like they should always be rooting you on. Like nobody should be jealous or envy of you because y'all should know that you're there to support them as well. And when life has beat them down to the ground a little bit, like you're there to help pick them up. But if they're just like an acquaintance that I've known them since high school, I've known them forever, and you start feeling like those people, you know, aren't proud of you. Well, they're probably not, right? Because
Hmm.
they're probably still, flipping burgers or doing something that's a minimum wage job that was always a stepping stone to her career, but they just kept doing stupid shit
Made a
that
choice
kept
not
setting them
to.
back. That's right. They made a
Yeah,
choice.
just
That's right.
making a damn choice. I'm sorry. It's like I'm my biggest critic. I'll tell you that. Like again,
Yep.
my self talk is like you. There you go. Right. I'll write notes on people. Amazing job. So next time I read it, I'm like, great job. And I put notes where I think to myself like, and you really messed up, or you were late, or that's on me. And so
Yep.
I'm also that for other people. And some people don't like it, but the people that you can trust and know will make you better, those people appreciate that. Those people don't hear it from anyone else. No one has the balls to talk to someone and
That's
say,
right.
"Hey, you messed up. You need to be better." Because then they're going to think, "Oh, they're not going to be my friend anymore." If you're not my friend, it's okay. I have my family and I have my close friends.
Yeah.
Right? Those are my family. So I think the same way.
Well, Alex, man, I have truly enjoyed this conversation with you. I appreciate you sharing your backstory. Life growing up with your single mother, talking about Ella, the life that you're creating for her, and the relationship you still have with your mom, and then obviously, talking about Insperity. I appreciate you sharing that. I want to encourage anyone out there to reach out to Alex if you feel that word you used earlier. Um, what did you say? You talked about um, when you're sleeping.
Sleep insurance.
Sleep insurance, yeah. So, if you're looking for the sleep insurance, reach out to Alex, let him just kind of run some numbers and kind of talk to you about how he can maybe let you rest a little easier knowing that a large portion of your business is taken care of.
Hmm.
I will tell you, we still have accounting firms, I still have a CFO, but to have the HR side and payroll and everything off of our plates, and again, like I said, I've got employees all over the country, so it makes it, one of the sleep insurance, knowing that all of the rules and regulations are being followed and taken care of because you're dealing with a global company with a team of experts. So how does someone get in touch with you if they would like to speak to Alex?
Yeah, I don't know where it'd be posted after this. Obviously, you can find me on LinkedIn, Alex Trujillo. Look me up there. But you can reach out. I'm very personal. I prefer text. Emails are great. Calls are good. So you can reach out to me on my phone number if you want me to say it right now, and they can go ahead and get
Sure.
it from here. Area code 916-402-8759. And I mean it because text is the easiest. Like if I'm out and about, I can easily send an email. Text are easy, but I want to add to that just so you know, my role as an advisor, even if you don't come on as a client, my role is to help you find your total cost as an employer today. Because no offense, 99% of businesses don't know their overhead. If you're paying someone 65 grand, for example, you're probably paying them 82. Do you know what your fringe is? Do you know what that means? Do you know how much you're even paying to half the people you're paying? And do you even know what you're getting for it? And that's my goal by the end of that is it. And if you're like, hey, Insperity's not a fit, it's okay. It's okay not to be part of Insperity, but it's not okay if you don't have someone to turn to help run your business.
Right.
That's not okay. And that's my job. I enjoy what I do, and it's a lot of fun. I meet people like you.
I
Hop on a
appreciate
podcast.
it. Are you going to be at the event in May?
I am. Yeah, I talked to Jason already. I'll be there. I'm
Sweet.
excited, and I know that we're going to be hosting some other things in between in the meantime. But Jason just came on as a client. Happy to have Jason as a client as well.
Awesome.
So all the people that know Jason Walker, and I mean, I can tell you right now, disparity, but I'll give myself the credit and all the people like Jonathan and Jason and Jamie, all the J's, right? I'm taking over the HVAC industry because no one wants to do this stuff. Let Insperity do it and let you run your business. I mean, it's pretty simple that way.
Yep. Yeah, I think you told me there in California that it's like what the price of an air conditioned system a month or something. It's like you can easily. What did you tell me? You remember?
Yeah, what I say at the very end, because sometimes people are like, "Oh, man, that's a lot of money," and I laugh because I know how much a system costs out here, guys.
Right.
And it's like an average system, what, give or take 15, 20 grand for a full end system. Look, I'm not in your business. And I go, and they're like, roughly the same. We cost less than a part-time employee. You get a whole entire team of 8.
Right.
But what I'm getting to, I'm like, look, if you want, I can go door knock for you for a month and go find you one system and pay for ours and probably make you money off it. And they laugh, but it's real. Like you invest in your company, and we all know comfort advisors, they sell based on value. So, yeah.
That's right. Well, Alex, I appreciate it, man. This has been great. I look forward to seeing you in May. I'll be out there as a guest speaker as well, so we'll definitely get together and have some dinner.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Thank you so much for having me on, and best of luck. It's going to be a great year. I can tell you that.
I appreciate it. Thanks, man.
Thank you.